All right. What's going on, everybody? We're going to give people just a minute to start joining, trickling in. We have an awesome event for everybody today. Cool. I see some folks coming in. Let us know as we're getting going where you are joining us from. What's going on? I see Lisa. We got Randy. What's up? Jay, how are you doing? Jason. Sweet. This is awesome. Well, first off, I want to welcome everybody. I'm Chris from the Remote Work Academy, and this is the first Saturday webinar I think I've ever done. So that's exciting. Super cool. Wow, we got a lot of people coming in here. Super cool to see everybody joining us. I know there might not be much to do on this Saturday morning, but let us know where you're tuning in from and what's like the number one thing you want to be getting out of this. So today we are joined with the one and only, we have Eric here, who is a coach with Ladder. But let me give you a little bit of background on Eric. So he is a former amateur boxer and entrepreneur. Well, I guess currently an entrepreneur, former amateur boxer, raised in Brooklyn. Eric discovered his passion for boxing in 2003. Training at the iconic Gleason gym, the oldest boxing gymnasium in New York, gave Eric the foundation and credibility within the boxing community. After competing in his first Golden Gloves tournament, Eric's fitness career quickly took off with an opportunity to train in New York City's West Village model magnet gym, Gotham. Since leaving, Eric has continued to build his brand. He currently trains everyone from celebrities and athletes to novice fitness clients in New York City. And we were just talking right before we started about some of those celebrity clients that you've worked with. Ariana Huffington, still working with her. Rachel McAdams was a client, Kelly Ripa, a couple others. So very cool to have you on here. Thank you for putting this together on such short notice, Eric.
Yeah, no problem. I gotta take you everywhere with me with that intro.
Yeah, I like being the Flavor Flav hype man for people before we get going. Before we dive in, why don't you let us know what chair you're sitting in and where you're joining us from?
Sure. So yeah, I grew up in Brooklyn. I live now in Flatiron in New York, but right now it's just like no man's land. So I've been fortunate over in New Jersey. I have really good friends of mine that live here. They have like 3 boys, 5, 4, and 2 dogs, cats. So right now, yeah, this is one of their rooms, and it's a whole thing. But
Well, I guess we all have to make do with the current situation and got to adapt to it. But for everybody that's joining us, so the goal today is, again, this is something typically a bit outside of what we do at AppSumo, but with a lot of us working from home, being at our desks maybe a lot longer than we used to. I know we've been putting in a lot of 16-hour days at AppSumo all week this week. So we wanted to go over a couple things that you guys can do to stay healthy, stay fit when you can't go to your gym, your Equinox, your Golds, or even your apartment gym. I know a lot of those are closed as well. So we asked Eric to come on to show us some of these things that you guys can just be doing in your apartment, kind of being adaptable to what stuff you might be able to use to get this workout in. So Eric, before we get going into this stuff, what do people want to be concerned about, besides the obvious of not being able to go to the gym? Like, what are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, it's a very tough time, across the board, economically, mentally, emotionally for a lot of us. And normally with times like this where it's hard, we're actually able to come together. Mm-hmm. And now we're forced to be by ourselves and isolated. So a big thing for me is movement is always a feeling of freedom for me. So even though I may be home and not have any equipment, not have any family or loved ones around, I find with movement, getting the blood flow going, keeping a healthy mindset, and continuing those habits, it'll really get me through whatever's going on. Mm-hmm. So I definitely encourage you guys to move with me for whatever I demonstrate here with you.
So what's it been like as a trainer the past couple weeks? Like how have things changed for you personally? I mean, I know moving around has been part of that.
Yeah. Fortunately, I've instilled like a lot of these daily rituals and habits for a long time now. I wake up, I pray, I drink my water. I'll do about 5 to 10 minutes of movement and then go about my day. But normally going about my day means I'm seeing clients, I'm building my practice and whatnot. So it's affected me in a big way because I am not able to go and service and be with my people and my clients. I'm fortunate I do have the app Ladder, and so that's allowed me to communicate with them, service, and help a lot of people. I work with a lot of coaches that also only do in person. So I've been a big instrument with them to be helpful during this time.
Yeah. in going to your background for a minute. So you said you started boxing when you were 12. What was that journey like, going from that to where you're at now?
Yeah, boxing was just kind of like, if you ever seen, I mean, you guys ever seen the Rocky movies, right? Rocky 1, 2. If you remember Rocky 3, there was this guy named Clubber Lang, Mr. T,
Mm-hmm.
in the basement with the towels, doing sit-ups, angry guy. I wasn't angry, but that's all I had, right? My goal in life was, okay, boxing is going to pave the way for me to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And in many ways it did. But around like 21, I needed to pivot, priorities changed. I needed to help my family and my mom, my brother. So that's when I dabbled in like the finance world, Series 7, 63, boiler room stuff, Vin Diesel,
Yeah.
And then for the last 6 years, I've been in the whole health and wellness space.
Mm-hmm. What does amateur boxing training look like? Like, how often are you working out? What do those workouts look like?
We can just break down, like, the word amateur isn't there, but I can move with the rest of them.
Okay. All right.
That's clear. But basically, a lot of road work, a lot of running. When we grew up, it was kind of like they throw you in the wolves right away. So you're doing tons of sparring, fighting, jumping rope for 30 minutes straight, a lot of things like that. Throughout the years and doing my diligence, I've learned there's better ways to prep your body and movement and preparing for things, which is what I teach now.
Yeah.
Kind of that mindset, like training smarter, not necessarily harder.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely very challenging stuff, but it instilled a lot in me, and I use it as a tool. We might do a little shadow boxing today at home together. It's a great tool for your mind and just a good fat burner too.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, I think people are here because they want to see some things that they could do. So I guess before even standing up, let's say people are at their desk. They've been going for an hour straight without a break. Sure. What is some simple stuff they can do? Just taking a 1-minute break while they're sitting there.
Absolutely. I'm going to turn. God willing,
okay.
You guys have a chair like this.
Does everybody love Eric's chair, by the way?
It's the whole thing. Okay, so most people are here, right? There's a lot of flexion in the spine.
Yeah.
And they're protruding forward. They're doing this. They're doing that. It's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And then what will happen is maybe an hour, 2 hours in, you get one of these and you're really tight. So I encourage, like, while you're sitting down, you want to be here, but it's important not to overextend your thoracic spine and your mid-back. So just try to, play with it and find what is like neutral and sustainable for you. And then just kind of set up nice, and then just do what you do, right?
Yeah.
Now that's just like a good mental note to check in with yourself. But things like, okay, your back can get stiff, and that's because your glutes, your biggest muscle, are like sleeping. So kind of take your leg, if you will, put it over your knee, right?
All right.
Some of us are a little more tight than others. That's fine. Get it to wherever you can. And then just by simply doing that posture check and immediately leaning forward, you'll already start to feel that in your glute and your piriformis, a nice glute stretch. Right? If some are more flexible, it's okay to lean into a little bit more. So that's one really, really good one, right? And then from there, if you want to, right, you can then take your hand, good, nice and easy, reach, and then start to get a little mid-back rotation here. That's the ticket. It's nice.
Yeah.
Breathe in, you think about life, and then you come back, do a little switcheroo. Same thing, right? And you can do, like, I like to do about 3 or 5 breaths within each movement, right? So whatever it might be. And that's really going to start getting some blood flow going right away, maybe even get your heart rate up a little bit. And then another important thing is the wrist, right? Very, very important. So what I'd like you to do is take your hands just like so, and immediately, right? See my shoulders, how they went forward? Immediately set them in, nice, and then just reach as far as you can across the room, spreading your fingers really, really wide, just to start releasing and getting some blood flow going.
Feels
because
good.
all of this, we get very, very tight here. So just reach and just stay there for a little bit. Nice and easy. Reach, spread your fingers, and then what you can do, once it starts to like build and you're like, ow, okay, now one at a time. nice and easy.
So this is loosening up like your forearms. Is that what it is?
Yeah, your forearms, your wrists, all those like extenders that are overactive.
Yeah.
Just kind of giving them some love and just kind of start getting some blood flow, healthy blood flow throughout the body. You can do the same thing here, nice and easy. And notice if you're struggling a little bit, set your shoulder down, nice and easy. And again, 3 to 5 breaths because you got work to do, numbers to crunch, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
hope everyone's following along with this. This feels amazing. I like that too about the because I think a lot of people get lower back pain and they don't necessarily think that it's coming from the fact that they're, like you said, their glutes are asleep.
Exactly. So it's important to just like every 15 minutes or so, give yourself a little bit of give it your glutes a little love, give your neck a little love. So here's another one, right? Because we're always here, try to be here, almost take your hands, push down a little bit, actually pull down a little bit, and then look up. That's a really good one. And just stretching your neck and relaxing it from all the tension. And then you can do the same thing, moving your neck side to side, and you're breathing. So if you're following along, we basically got the glutes to wake up a little bit, gave the mid back some love, the wrist, the neck. And now let's just say you have a few more minutes. Let's actually, I'll stand up. I definitely want you to join me.
All right. So you said, before we move on to that, you said this would be good. I think before you said you would do a 15-minute timer on your phone or something like that to just do this, and you could crank through it in 30, 60 seconds just to keep yourself from getting all tight.
Yeah, correct. So a lot of things I'll do with a lot of my clients or some of these, at the desk kind of jobs is I tell them, try to set your timer for every 15 minutes. And when that 15 minutes hits, kind of go through those movements, right? You're here, you're getting your wrists going. And if you have time, I'll have them jump up, do about 15 seconds of jumping jacks, of push-ups or squats. And then, a minute and change, drink a little water, you're back to your desk and you're feeling good to go.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to kind of keep the mind and your body, your spirit kind of alive while you're just in a stationary static position. And then as you progress, you can actually count, at the end of the day, you might have a lot of reps that you've done for squats, for push-ups, for jumping jacks. So it's just healthy little habits and obtainable things like that.
Yeah. I would think too, even if you're not going to, I like the idea of doing a timer, even just using as a trigger, every time you're either getting up or sitting back down again, just being okay, I just sat down. Before I dive in, let me run through this real quick routine just to prevent some of this stuff from, exacerbating.
Yeah. Definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Cool. So what else you got? Let's say they wanted to do something a bit more than that. And how often would they do this and what should they be doing?
Yeah, correct. All right, you stay right there. I'm going to move around here because I'm getting excited.
Cool. Sounds good.
Right. So
how's everybody liking this? Let us know in the comments. What do you guys have any particular things that you want Eric to show you? Let us know and we'll get to it.
Yeah, I'm seeing 12 messages here. Are you getting that too?
Oh, I got them. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I see. All right. Someone is saying jumping rope is the best thing to do in situations like this. I started doing it again 2 days ago after 5 years, and it's been awesome. I have my jump rope hanging over right there.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you can do. You don't need a huge machinery or a lot of space. So when I do my programming, I make sure to add jump rope in there.
Awesome. We got some people wanting to see core work. They want lower back ground stretching and something to improve posture and tightness. So we'll see what we can do to address that as well.
Yeah. So a lot of that we just did in the chair, addresses posture, tightness, and whatnot. We'll definitely get the core fired up in a moment here.
Awesome.
So I went ahead and got my bag here. It just so happens to be a ladder bag. What do you do? And I put things like a big hoodie, some books, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Classic.
Some Yeezys and a tennis ball. Okay.
Now, are Yeezys required?
Definitely.
Okay.
So I'll leave the book and the heavier stuff, the sneakers in here. So I'm going to show you how I use them. So here's what we'll do. Okay, move all this stuff. Join me, please. You don't need much space at all. All right. So the first things first, a lot of people, they don't have pull-up bars at their home. No big deal. You don't need it, okay? Here's what you need to do. I'm actually going to change this angle a little bit.
Perfect.
Imagine that. Okay. All right, so watch this. Grabbing the end, right? Ends of your hoodie or your sweater. The idea is to try to rip it apart while mimicking that pull-up motion, so you're retracting in your upper back, okay? So for example, if we wanted to start here, right? Okay? I'm nice and easy, nobody's getting hurt, right? No big deal, okay? God willing, the floor is clean. You're gonna lift the arms up and your chest, so you're here. So right away, my back is starting to fire up, okay? And then from here, if you can, lift the feet a little bit, squeezing your glutes. If your back starts to tighten up, just keep your feet down, no big deal. Okay, but I'm gonna lift my feet up. And then from here, ripping the towel or your sweater apart, squeeze your back, bring it in, okay? Squeeze your back, bring it in, squeeze your back, bring it in. Cool?
And how many of those would you do to warm up?
So everything we're gonna do, I want you to do for about 30 seconds and then 30 seconds of rest.
Got it.
Cool?
And for that, what are you working out or stretching there?
Yeah, so again, more so we're trying to send some love and activate our upper back. So all these things, the stabilizers back here that get left behind because we're so here, this is gonna really enforce that kind of keeping an upright position. So
Got it.
a lot of lats, rear delts, stuff like that, okay? And for the tough guy with the core workouts, right? So I have my stuff here, right? Watch out, this is a great tool to get your obliques, your core, and your shoulders and your arms fired up. I'm actually gonna hold a push-up stance outside of this bag, right? Okay, if you need to, keep your knees down, that's fine too. And then without shifting, I'm gonna reach, pull through, switch. Reach, pull through. We have a cat joining us. Pull through and switch. So I'll continue this here for about 30 seconds. Cool?
That's a good one.
And notice I'm not shifting. Give me a little privacy. Okay. And then the third one, right, would be grab your bag, whatever you have, and now we'll get some nice lower body focus as well. So it's a full body movement, okay? 3 movements, full body, okay? So from here, you're gonna sit high again, sit, pop up, okay? And I want you to actually try to keep your elbows upright. So you're here, nice and easy. You're here, nice and easy. Now, squats for a lot of people are actually challenging. So I'm gonna take our big buddy here back, okay? And if you're someone that when they squat, your heels are coming off the ground, that's a no-no, okay? So try to widen the feet if needed so you can sit back because you don't want to be here because that immediately goes into your knees and your quads, okay? So again, if you're someone that struggles with that, just grab a chair, grab the weights or no weight, sit back into the chair, pop up all day long, okay? Nice and easy. So if you've done that, right, you just did 30 seconds of each. If you decided to take a little rest, then you would have had 30 seconds off, but typically try to do each one 30 seconds each, so 90 seconds of work, and then rest, okay? So those are 3 like key movements, and you can tell like I'm breathing a little bit heavy.
Okay, so going over the 3, it's the towel stretch where you're doing like those Supermans.
Yeah, but it's not really a stretch. You're gonna feel like you're working because your core and your back is starting to light up because you're really mimicking and pulling here.
Got it. And then the next one after that was which one?
The pull throughs. So you're a high plank, chest is involved, shoulders, core, and your obliques when you're pulling through the movement. And then the third, lastly, would be a traditional squat with hopefully a little bit support or load, so like I have in my bag. And so those 3 full body, I would do all 3 in a row, boom, 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 and then rest for 30 seconds and repeat that 3 times. And let's, for example, right, you are, well, now we're at home, so there's no real excuse, if you will. But let's just say when this is all over and you are at your desk, I still encourage maybe those movements or things like jumping jacks. Like I said, that 15-minute rule, setting your timer every 15 minutes, and to kind of demonstrate would be like, okay, 15 minutes, I'm giving my body a little bit of love. I'm playing with that, doing these, getting the neck going, and then immediately stand up and get into the jumping jacks, 15 seconds, 15 push-ups, nice and easy, okay? You could even do mountain climbers. So there's plenty of ways to get creative and not take away from your work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now seems like the perfect time, because if you're in an office, it might be weird if you just get up and start doing jumping jacks. But like you said, now that you're at home, no one's watching you, no one's there to judge you. You can really get that combination of like doing work, doing a couple minutes of stretching and working out, getting back to work, and just getting that cycle going.
And remember, drinking water is a part of that 15-minute rule, okay?
Mm-hmm. So, and how often throughout the day would you be doing like this more involved one?
Honestly, 30 to 40 minutes of like movement is really key, of those kind of movements.
Yeah.
So those were 3, right? And let's say we were doing a 90-second sprint of all 3, and then a rest. You do 3-4 rounds of that. That's a good amount of time, right? And then you could go ahead and switch into things like 3 different movements, but same kind of flow, which are maybe you do the jumping jacks, you're doing mountain climbers, and maybe you're doing some kind of lunges, right? Mm-hmm. So you can pair together 6 or 9 workouts, breaking them up 3 each, and going through that flow of 90 seconds of work, 30 seconds rest. So, you stay with that pace, you're going to feel like you moved and you got some good work in, and it's actually extremely beneficial. You're building strength, you're supporting stiffness in your body. So, things like that.
Yeah. And if somebody wants to either like increase the intensity or decrease the intensity, depending on their fitness level, what would you recommend there?
Yeah, I'll actually show you. So let's just say for some reason, you're a man that does not like bags, books, things of objects to use. No problem, or a woman, all right? So let's just say you're doing those squats, right? But you're like, I can do these all day. Try to do one of these where you're giving yourself a 2-second hold, a jump, a 2-second hold, a jump, right? Similar with the push-ups, right? Instead of banging them out, you can do a 2-second hold, push, 2-second hold, push. So those are a doozy, but I do encourage them if you're looking for more of a challenge.
Yeah. All right. And how about some ab stuff? How do people get that? How do they come out of quarantine with a 6-pack?
Yeah. So I'm going to show you some stuff, but now more than ever is like a great time to really check in, journal even the kind of foods you're eating, a good amount of water, trying to go a healthier route, especially now that we're at home. You don't want to go into a binge eating like you can do at the office, right? Because you're sitting at the desk. So obviously the whole abs are made in the kitchen thing that they say. I actually came up with that. But I'll show you a few that are really, really great.
Awesome. Yeah, it seems like that pull through one is a good one to start with too.
Yeah, that one sneaks up on you, believe me. But here we go, right? So let's say you're on the ground here. Here's a tricky one. I want you to try to set the timer for 30 seconds, okay? Watch what I do. I start here. I get up in a crunch position. Right away, we're engaged, okay? The next thing I do is I lift my leg up, okay? But I should be able to get my hand through here, right?
I need paper towels.
We all need paper towels.
That's why we didn't have any pants on. Yeah, buddy. Okay. I shouldn't be able to get my hand through here, okay? Because if I do, you're going to hurt your back, okay? So there shouldn't be any curve. So I'm locked in, I'm crunched up, arms up, legs up,
and just stick around.
Mm-hmm.
You'll feel that immediately, okay? So let's just say you do 30 seconds of that, no big deal. Hold or try to rock for an additional 30 seconds, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And from there, here's a tough one. Come up, sweep the toe, come up, sweep the toe. So those are a little bit more intermediate advanced, if you will, because you'll feel them right away. That was probably 10 seconds of each I did, and it's no picnic.
Awesome. All right, we got a comment for more thoracic stretching, please.
You sweet talker. Okay.
Love it when you talk thoracic to me.
So you're in a hands and knees position, right? Just like so.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and easy. There's a few ways to do this. A favorite of mine is I spread the knees a little bit wider. I take, for example, one hand and I slide through to the ground and then come all the way up. Just like that, right? Show you from the other side. Slide through, come up. This is completely mid-back here, okay? Nice and easy, and you'll feel that right away. I usually pair that with some cat-cows. So from here, really arch your back, really round your back. So I would do maybe 3 of these, and then 3 each side with the T-spine rotation.
That's awesome. Yeah, this the same commenter said, awesome, thanks for this. My posture is already feeling better. That's great.
Perfect. Keep pushing.
Awesome. So let's go into some of the other kind of like holistic health tips that you would recommend to people while they're at home. Obviously, like, if you can get outside, I would imagine we've been going for longer walks here outside. That's been a great one. But what about like decompressing, stress, staying focused, all of those elements?
Yeah, correct. A biggest thing, I touched on this a little earlier, right? Your days sometimes, especially if you have kids or you're at a startup, whatever it might be, you're waking up, the alarm, let's just call it kids, and then traffic, and then your boss maybe, has all this stuff, so you have fires to put out, right? A big thing is like, everything I just said is like a reactive state of mind. It's not really healthy or sustainable. So for me, I have my first client sometimes at 6 a.m., right? Sometimes 5, actually, with like a Victor Cruz or one of the football players, right? And with that, I try to set my clock back like 90 minutes. That's not really ideal for everybody, especially if they're working late. But my point is, I do that because I want to set the pace for my day and not be reacting all day. So that's just like one little thing to start getting in that mindset, is to set the pace and not react all day long. So, again, for me, I make sure I do my prayer. I have my water with some lemon. Normally I'll put out some like nice water with a little turmeric and lemon, and I'll leave it out and then just drink that first thing in the morning. So just promoting healthy immune system is like really key, especially right now. Mm-hmm. And then, like if you are in an area where you can go for a little gentleman's jog or a little stroll, with your spouse or partner, do it. I encourage like 10 to 20 minutes of some kind of movement, whether it's what we're doing now or going for a stroll, pairing it with something like this. So that's just a few things to like try to keep in mind. And for the jump rope lovers, do it. I program in my I program on the app, right? For example, I try to give people rounds that like are similar to boxing. So a boxing round is 3 minutes with 1 minute off. Mm-hmm. So I try to give people like, okay, do 3 rounds in a row, right? So 3 on, 1 off, repeat 3 times, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then from there, maybe go into some shadow boxing, etc. But full body, you're burning tons of calories. It's good for your mind and all the reflexes. So it's a great tool.
Awesome. And how about on the tail end of the day, say when people are getting ready for bed or they're winding down, what kind of advice would you give to people to be hitting their head on the pillow, feeling good about how they ended the day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we assuming they haven't had any movement throughout the day, or?
I think it's fair to assume that.
Yeah, okay, so fair to assume that. Let's just say they have a good 10, let's call it a 10-minute window,
Mm-hmm.
right? You want to focus on breathing, right? Because you want to try to decompress. So I actually do this thing sometimes when I only have 10 minutes, or I encourage people to do it at home. Set the clock, 10 minutes, right? First 60 seconds, you're doing deep breath work from your diaphragm and your nose, right? And you want to try to practice when you're breathing, your diaphragm goes up first, then your chest, because you don't want your chest to do all the heavy lifting because it gets clogged, it gets too tight, right? So breathing from your diaphragm for a minute, getting in the right mindset, and then from there, doing like a 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, paired with a few different movements. So you're getting like 6 to 8 minutes of like good intensity and a good pump, a little pump, before you go to bed. And then follow that up with like those T-spine rotations, those cat-cows. And again, to end with that minute of breathing. This way you're not on a high, you're bringing it back down, wash the hands, 20 seconds, brush the teeth, go to bed, shower, go to bed,
Awesome.
Try to do that, because you start especially if you're someone that is coming from barely any activity. Don't do that to yourself where you're like, okay, I'm cutting all sugars, all carbs, it's go time. That's good. That energy is good, but start like, okay, I'm going to crush and commit 10 minutes a day to my fitness. And then that goes into 20, 40 minutes a day, maybe 50 to 60, but start with a stroll, then a nice little walk, jog, sprint, right? I tell clients, actually, think of your fitness in life actually as like green, yellow, red. A green would be a walk, a yellow would be a jog, and a red would be a sprint. You don't want to live in the red, right? Especially even in a workout, you see a lot of these people on social media doing these crazy workouts. That's great, but I'm around a lot of those maniacs, and I can tell you they're not doing hour straight of movements like that. It's just 15 seconds of engagement for people to look at, right? Which is cool, but you have to understand, like, when you're living in the red during your workouts or life, you're prone to stress more, injury, and risk of like actually not staying the course and giving up is a lot higher, right? So I encourage people, live like in the yellow, but always touch the red. Always touch the red, right? To build that duration and endurance for those kind of high stress moments, but then go back to yellow, green, right? And then the next day, when you go back to the red, maybe you can stay there a little bit longer, right? And then you repeat that, where eventually that red, what was once red, will be comfortable for you. That's kind of
So
like,
the red becomes yellow and you set the bar even higher.
yeah, exactly. Through ample amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I imagine that happens to a lot of people where, like you said, you get excited, you get amped up. It's like, okay, it's New Year's. I'm finally going to change. And then, that's the joke, is gym memberships skyrocket in January and then plummet in February, because it's a lot better to do it consistently than it is to do it in the red for a month and then go another 11 months until you hit the gym again.
Correct. By the way, I don't know where we are on time, but maybe we should just practice good habits and what we preach and do a little bit of those stretches together.
Let's do it, man. Yeah, we got some people commenting. Basil saying, you guys are great. Thanks a million for this. David saying, yeah, I guess agreeing with that. Awesome. Let us know what you guys got most out of this. Like, what was the number one thing everyone learned so far? All right. I am absolutely going to practice what you're preaching. All right. Leg up.
Nice and easy. Just take it all in. Reflect on life, whatever you got to do.
And where do you want to be feeling this?
Glute right here, and your glute a little bit in your low back if you're not much tightness. And then if you come across here, you'll get more mid back, a little bit of the hip flexor here because we're rotating.
This is probably my favorite. Oh.
And then you get a nice switcheroo. This is good. And you play with it, right? Eventually you get comfortable within these movements, and you can really start to like get comfortable with it and then progress and do a little bit more, or do a little bit, a good variety of things.
Mm-hmm. Lisa, I see your question. Lisa's asking, is this recorded so I can share it with my friends and coworkers? Absolutely. I am going to be posting this later today, and you'll be getting an email with the replay, so you can share it out. But if you just send them the link to the entire Remote Work Academy, they'll be able to sign up and get access to it. Let's see what else. I like the instructor's mild approach, even though I've been exercising every day since the first week of January. Yeah, you gotta start slow, be consistent. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Someone saying these are good yoga poses. I like it. Awesome. All right.
The other thing to note as well, as like a user or as someone that moves daily, like if you started in January, that's great, and you're kind of familiar with fitness to a certain degree. But let's just say, even if that's the case, or if it's not, it's important to not be so hard on yourself. Like, for example, for me, I had a boxing coach when I was younger, right, and started. Even though I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, right, and I can program and do things myself, and I'm highly motivated, I still have like a coach that will message me digitally and send me a program, because you need that kind of accountability and that little like inspiration. Because if you're someone that is so high performance driven and you're going every minute of the day, you don't really want to or have the time necessarily to program a 40-minute workout for yourself each day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just something to remember. Like, you know, even athletes, right? Myself, I have a coach, so I encourage you to take that approach in the beginning, or even if you're started in January and you are up and running, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, that's across the board in industries too. Like Ray Dalio, who runs the largest hedge fund in the world, he still has, I believe, Tony Robbins as his coach. It's like, you don't need a coach the higher up you get. It almost becomes even more important because you have a lot more to lose and you have a lot more responsibility and things that you're juggling. And it helps you stay accountable, helps you stay on track, helps you, maybe you do start slacking off and your red became yellow and now you're just hanging out in the yellow and you're not going towards red anymore. So someone who's going to keep pushing you so you get better and better.
By the way, great book, Principles.
100%.
A year ago, I did some consulting for this new boxing studio in New York. And Tony Robbins is one of the investors. So I got to do a little work with them. Cool, good guy, good people.
That's awesome. Well, we got a comment. So for folks who are missing their trainers, let's talk about Ladder a little bit. What is Ladder, and why should people be checking it out? And I know we have an offer for folks as well.
Yeah, perfect. To a lot of people, like a good term is kind of like a coach on your keychain kind of thing. Someone like myself or others that, okay, you sign up, we get paired, right? And let's just say you are someone that works out once a week or 5 times a week. Myself, I would ask you what's accessible to you. Tell me a little bit about your habits. Do you have a gym? Are you at home? So we iron out a lot of those details. We'll set intentions throughout the day. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk, right? Maybe it's your prayer, whatever it might be. So we'll kind of I'll guide you throughout the journey, early days. And then while we take off, I will program certain movements for you based off of our conversations, daily, weekly, however really involved you want me to be. But someone like me, I'm gonna make sure I'm checking in on you and we're doing the right things.
Awesome. So yeah, for folks, I even have it on my phone. So Ladder, it's an app that you can download on your phone, and it's a personal trainer in your pocket. Super cool. I've been using it for the past maybe 6 months or so with my coach Stan, and there's customizable programmed workouts in here for you. And yeah, he set them very specifically for exactly what I wanted. So I was like, listen, I'm at a desk all day. I want something that I can do in the mornings that's only going to take me 5 or 10 minutes. And then I want a couple if I am hitting the gym and I want it to just be like, go hard, go hard, go hard. But I have a handful of workouts in here. I have the cardio jumpstart, the stretch jumpstart, and it's awesome. It's a really cool tool. And that's how this whole conversation came about, because I saw, a lot of people are working from home. A lot of people can't go to the gym anymore. So I was like, what better opportunity than to bring somebody on when we're thinking about, the entrepreneur or the consultant or the freelancer holistically? What are the things that you guys need? So that's when I reached out to Ladder to see if we could put something like this together. And they put together an exclusive offer just for the Remote Work Academy members, where I'm going to post the link below, and it'll give you a full week of free on Ladder, and then 25% off your first year, which is a super cool offer. So thank you guys for bringing that to us. So you can check it out there. And yeah, it's awesome. I've been using it. I've been loving it. And you can check them off. The other cool thing that I've been doing is you guys have this little plus button where it's not just about working out. And we kind of talked about this holistically, where you can record your nutrition, your activity, your meditation, your sleep, how much water you've been drinking. So I know a lot of people will use a bunch of different apps to track this stuff. And I think it's just super cool that you guys combined it all into one. And it can just kind of be like your health and wellness app on the home screen of your phone that gets you going right now. I see someone saying they're downloading the app right now. It's sweet. Ladder. Check it out. What else do you have to say about it, Eric?
I really appreciate that, and I certainly encourage you to give the trial a shot. Whether you get paired with me or another coach, like, it's just a great tool. Like you mentioned, we try to make it this like 360 ecosystem for your wellness, right? And there's a feature of a chat so we can communicate, like I mentioned.
Yes, that's one of the coolest things. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think that's really, so this is my coach, Coach Stan. You can see it here. Yeah. And it's awesome. So if you have, there's a couple cool things, and I'm a pretty big fanboy of Ladder. So a couple of the cool things, all of the workouts have videos that accompany them. So you're paired with a coach. The coach assigns you workouts based on the goals that you want. And then all of those workouts have videos. So, because I've been working out, pretty well for the past decade plus. But some of the workouts that Stan assigned, I'm like, I don't know what these are. But then you just click into it. There's a video walkthrough that like high-res videos that are 30, 60 seconds. You can see exactly what the workout is. You can track it, check it off. And then if you have any questions, you can just text with your coach, like exactly what your goals are. What did I say? I said, my goals, as I'm 9 months away from my 30th birthday, I'm trying to get and stay lean and jacked, i.e. the same goals that I've always had. Yeah. And so then like he just programmed exactly what I wanted. He has a beast mode workout for me in here. He has a less than your cup of Daily Joe one, stronger than the hogs, because I like to do a little hog hunting out here in Texas. So definitely check it out. It's a super cool offer. I really appreciate the Ladder team putting this together. Will the coach watch you do your moves? So I actually don't know the question of that, David. Sorry, David's the one asking the question. Eric, what would be, I know they're not watching you, but is there a way, I guess, you could record a video of yourself and submit it to your coach, see if you're doing it right?
Yeah, so if you haven't already, you can actually, along that chat, I encourage you, like, record a video, for example, of movements that you're uncertain about, or just record for like progress, right? If this is your last set and your last few reps of something heavier or push-up, I'd encourage recording it and dropping it into the chat, because then I can critique form, and that's a great way for like us to really stay on top of each movement within the program.
Awesome. Someone's asking, what's the name of the app? The app is Ladder, Ladder. I believe the website, is it joinladder.com?
Ladder.com. Also, like on Instagram, it's just Join Ladder.
Awesome. And I posted the link above, so if you click on the chat, you'll be able to see it there. Awesome. And yeah, I know you got a hard stop in a few minutes. If there are any questions, post those below. But Eric, thank you so much for coming on. I know we put this together super quickly, and I know we had to. It's funny. I was watching so Jimmy Fallon. So all of these late night shows, they're filming them from home because they can't go to the studios. They're all filmed in New York or California. And so I was seeing, what was it? It was Jimmy Fallon and Jennifer Gardner, and they're just on Zoom like this, recording an interview that would normally be done in the studio on the couch. So it's cool that we were able to put this together and give some people some tips. It's awesome to see that people are getting a lot out of this. So thank you guys very much. One question I'm seeing, how do you get the audio clear when you're working out when communicating real time with your coach? I am not quite sure what that question is asking. How do you get the audio so clear when you're working out when communicating real time with your coach?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can, all like for the most part, text within the app on the chat. If you are recording a video and you drop it in, I assume, I've never had an issue with sound, but that would be the best way to like communicate, like if you wanted to have like an audio conversation.
The other thing that I've really liked that Stan does is when I'm not working out, he's sending me messages in the app, kind of bumping me, being like, what is it? Hey man, don't forget to get after it with these workouts. And it's good. It's just that accountability, because it's easy to let this stuff slip. But in terms, look, so you can see here, this is the messaging. You can tap that little button and you can upload like videos, pictures, things like that, which is awesome. It's a super cool app. Again, everybody check it out. A full week free. Now's the best time you can have to take advantage of this while you're at home. And let's see. I don't see the link here. Let me post this again for you. Oh, that's my fault. I was posting it only to the panelists. I am so sorry. Here you go, everybody. So again, it is a full week free of Ladder, and then it's 25% off for the whole year, which is a super cool deal, especially because this is a hands-on business. It's not like it's just a regular iPhone app. You're paired with a coach. They're going to be giving you personalized training, personalized recommendations, not just for fitness, but for nutrition and kind of that holistic health, mindset, mind state, body, physical, spiritual, all that.
That was going to be my thing to read. Like, the big takeaway, right, is like there are thousands of apps that you can download, swipe up, influencers, the swipe up stuff. But it's important to remember not everything is for everyone, right? And with that, I always encourage, like, we're worth that kind of customization, that personalization, because your goals might be different than mine, right? And those apps and those templates are great and they serve a big purpose, but they'll only get you so far because they weren't designed for, Eric or a Stan or Chris, right? So just taking advantage of like a professional that is specifically has his best interest out for you and seeing your progress. That's really why day one I jumped on board with Ladder, because I realized, okay, they're not losing sight of the human capital, and that's a big thing for me.
Awesome. Well, we'll call it here. This was awesome. Eric, thank you so much for hopping on, and for everyone on here, thank you for joining. I know this isn't a typical thing we do on a Saturday morning, but it's super cool. We were able to put it together, and thank you guys for joining for the whole remote work series. I hope you guys have been getting a lot out of it. Our next talk is tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Central Time. We're sitting down with Tucker Max and Charlie Hone. We're going to be talking about, if you guys have always felt like you had a book in you, we're going to be talking about how you guys can use this time in quarantine to write and publish your first book, which is awesome. Tucker, he's a 4-time New York Times bestselling author of I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. Charlie Hone is another author, marketer, book marketer, entrepreneur, wizard. So it's going to be super cool getting them. So join. It's part of the remote work series. I just posted the link below so you can sign up, check it out there, share it with your friends, and I will be sending out a replay of this as well so you can share it with your friends. You can play it back, do these workouts every day with Eric, not myself. He was doing all the work. I was drinking my coffee. But thank you all for joining. Eric, thank you so much for hopping on this morning. I really appreciate it.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.